Alright, hey guys, today we're going to talk about finding the volume of pyramids and cones. So pyramids and cones are a little bit different because you notice that they come to a point, and I just dropped my stylus. They come to a point at the very top, okay? So something that's different is you notice that volume is the space that an object takes up, but you notice that there's this empty space on the left and the right that the object is not actually occupying. So if we were to multiply base times height, we'd actually be over-representing that volume. So what we're going to have to do, if you look at this formula down here, is we're going to still do the area of the base times the height, but we're going to take that and we're going to divide it by 3, because you can think about this in 3 parts, 1, 2, and 3, and we only want 1/3 of what we actually found when we multiplied the area of the base times the height, okay? And this happens anytime it comes to a point at the top, so something like a cone or a pyramid, okay? And that's why we're doing those together today. So pyramid, base times height. Now this is a rectangle at the bottom, 10 by 11. So think, how do I find the area of a rectangle? That's just going to be 10 times 11, and that's going to be 110. All right, now I have to look at what is the height, and I'm going to erase that so we can see it. The height of my pyramid is 16, so 110 times 16, and that gives me 1760. All right, but that's not my final answer because I have to take that and I have to divide it by 3, okay? Or multiply it by 1/3. You can do either one, they're the same thing. And that's still going to be inches cubed. I left this as a fraction. You could also get it as a decimal, either one. All right, next one, number 3. So this is a square pyramid because at the bottom you notice the side lengths are the same, 14 and 14. So first let's find the area of the base on the bottom. So 14 times 14, and that's going to give me 196. Okay, so I have 196 as the area of my base. Now to find the height, you notice 25, it's actually called your slant height because you notice it's not the height from the top to the bottom. Okay, so we're actually going to need to find that height from the very top to the very bottom. Okay, and how we're going to do that is with a right triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this out. So we know 25 is the slant height, okay? And then it goes from the edge to the center. Now we know the whole way across is 14. So from the edge to the center is going to be 7, just that 14 divided by 2, okay? So we can use Pythagorean theorem here, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, to find the missing side of this right triangle. So x squared plus 7 squared equals 25 squared. Okay, so 25 squared minus 7 squared, x squared equals 576, and then x will end up equaling 24. So that is the height. The height of your prism or pyramid will always have to go from the very top to the very bottom. You can't go on a slant. So 24. So I have the base, which is 196, times 24, but then I have to take that and divide it by 3 because it came to a point. So that gets me 4704, but then divided by 3 gets me 1568 feet cubed. Okay. All right, so number 5, this is a triangular pyramid because the base is a triangle. So first thing I'm going to do is I notice that I have a right triangle on the bottom. And so I'm just going to go ahead and sketch that out right here, and not like that. All right, so I notice the 22.1 is across from my right angle, and the 14 is on the bottom. So that means the 22.1 is going to be the hypotenuse, and I don't know what this side is over here that's actually going to be the height of my triangle. So again, I'm going to have to use Pythagorean theorem to solve. You'll notice that we're using this a lot, so it's probably pretty important. So x squared plus 14 squared equals 22.1 squared. And then I'm going to subtract that 14 squared from both sides. and I get, see, x squared equals 292.41, and then take the square root. So x equals 17.1. Okay, so therefore that's going to be the height of my triangle there. All right, so again, area of your base. So how do you find the area of a triangle? That's going to be base times height divided by 2. 14 times 17.1 divided by 2. Okay, so when you find the area of that triangle, you should get 119.7. Okay, so that's the area of your base triangle. This triangle down here. Okay, times the height of your pyramid, which is 19. That comes right here. And then I have to divide that by 3 because it comes to a point, so I'm not actually taking up all that space. So that gives me 758.1 meters cubed. Okay. All right, next we're going to go to cones. So find the volume of the cones. Same concept here, but this time our base is always going to be a circle. So to find the area of a circle, we'll use pi r squared. So pi 9 squared gives me 81 pi. So that's the area of this circle here, times my height, which is 17. So 81 pi times 17, I'm going to go ahead and simplify that. And I get 1377 pi. Now that would give me again the volume if I wanted the whole thing, just base times height, but because it comes to a point, I have to divide that by 3. Okay, so that gives me 459 pi yards cubed. Okay, all right, number 9. So this one again, so I have 27 is the diameter, so therefore the radius is going to be 13.5. Also, 22.5 is my slant height, so therefore I'm going to need to find the actual height of my cone. So 22.5, 13.5, and I don't know what the height of my cone is. So what do you think I'm going to use? Probably Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus 13.5 squared equals 22.5 squared. All right, go ahead, let's subtract 13.5 squared from both sides, and I get x squared equals 324. Taking the square root of that, and x equals 18. So that's the height of my cone. All right, so now remember, find the area of your base, which is a circle. So pi 18 squared, that's the area of your circle. Sorry, pi 13.5 squared. That is your radius. 13.5 is your radius. Pi 13.5 squared times your height, which is 18. And then you're going to have to divide that by 3 because it's a cone, so it comes to a single point. All right, so when you put all that in your calculator, I left the pi out and left it just up by itself. So 1093.5 pi, and what are we talking about? Kilometers cubed. Okay. All right, last one, an application. So Caitlin must build a sandcastle in the form of a square pyramid for a project as shown to the left. She bought 3 bags of sand, each containing 1,200 inches cubed of sand. Will she have enough sand to build the castle? So we need to find the volume of this square pyramid. So in order to do that, I'm going to find the area of the base, which is 25 times 25 since it's a square. And that gives me 625 times the height, which is 18, and divide that by 3 since it comes to a point. And that gives me 3,750 inches cubed. So that's how much it will take to fill up this square pyramid of the sandcastle. Now let's figure out how much she bought. So she bought 1,200, 3 bags of 1,200. So 3 times 1,200 equals 3,600. So she has 3,600, but we need 3,750. So will she have enough? The answer is no. Okay, and that's how we do pyramids and cones. So the big idea is if it comes to a point, we're still doing the area of the base times the height, but we have to remember to either multiply it by 1/3 or divide it by 3 because we're not taking up all that space that we normally would. And that's it.